Well, Syrians have taken to the streets of the capital of Damascus to celebrate Donald Trump's decision to lift long-running US economic sanctions. Residents in Damascus praised Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who advocated ending sanctions dating back to the rule of the deposed Assad government. Mr. Trump made the announcement in the Saudi capital, Riyadh, where he started his tour of Gulf Arab states. He also signed a record $142 billion arms deal with the Crown Prince. Our North America editor, Sarah Smith, is in Riyadh.
This was an extra special VVIP welcome. And Donald Trump had even chosen a tie to match the lavender-coloured carpet that greeted him as he arrived in Saudi Arabia. The Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman knows how to flatter a man who'd love to have these royal trappings at his own disposal. An honour guard of Arabian horses accompanied the presidential limo to the royal palace. Donald Trump brought along his current best buddy, Elon Musk, and a selection of other top American business leaders, because business is what this trip's all about, securing hundreds of billions of dollars of Saudi investment in American firms.
As you know, we have the biggest business leaders in the world here today. They're going to walk away with a lot of checks for a lot of things that you're going to provide. And in the United States, it's probably 2 million jobs that we're talking about.
Donald Trump came here to sign big economic deals he hopes will deliver jobs and prosperity to the US. Inevitably, the wars in Gaza and Ukraine will be discussed. He can't avoid global politics, but mostly he wants to be seen as a deal maker who's delivering for America.
Not bombing.
He said it is these kind of commercial deals that will create a peaceful future for the Middle East, as he announced that the US is restoring normal relations with Syria for the first time in over 10 years.
I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria in order to give them a chance at greatness.
Overshadowing his trip is the gift of this $400 million plane from the state of Qatar, where he's visiting tomorrow. That's provoked fierce criticism from opponents and friends. He wants to refit the luxurious interior to use it as Air Force One for presidential travel, insisting it would be stupid to look a gift plane in the mouth. By contrast, it is a golf cart that's driving him to dinner with the man he calls his great friend, Mohammed bin Salman. Donald Trump clearly believes that it is by doing deals with friends like these he can try to reshape the Middle East. Sarah Smith, BBC News, Riyadh.
Well, Efrat Sofa is chair of the Board of Advisors at the Esri Centre for Iran and Gulf States Research at Haifa University. She is also a Gulf nations specialist and talked me through this trip President Trump is making.
What we see in Saudi Arabia and in the wider Trump trip to the Gulf is indeed President Trump's emphasis on the concepts of security and prosperity going hand in hand. We are seeing this with the $600 billion trade deal, including the $142 billion arms deal with Saudi Arabia, and at the same time, the UAE has declared that there will be a $1.4 trillion deal with the US, both for defense and, interestingly, an AI deal where the UAE wants to become an AI leader. So this is the art of the deal personified with statecraft at the same time.
But also as well, big business is really gaining. Elon Musk's Starlink is getting some really lovely deals. He was there at the Riyadh Investment Conference, as was the boss of NVIDIA. They're doing great deals with Humane of Saudi Arabia, supplying all the chips. It looks like a win-win, doesn't it?
This is the way that the Trump administration is portraying it, and I think it can be interpreted as a win-win. And it very much mirrors the policies of the Gulf states, where prosperity and trade are seen as a diplomatic tool. At the same time, we cannot also ignore the context where the USA is also negotiating with Iran at the same time. And if we look at Trump's speech yesterday, he did highlight the difference between the constructive vision of Saudi leaders, for example, versus the collapse and suffering headed and caused by the Iranian regime. So it's interesting messaging also to the other states that the US is negotiating with at the moment.